Yeah, so hi guys, this is Shadow Girl Sherry, and I want to go ahead and say happy winter solstice. I don't know how I could go by the name Shadow Girl Sherry and not make an appearance or show up for winter solstice. It's the energy of darkness and light, right? The energy of darkness and light, right? Um, so how could I not show up, being that I call myself Shadow Girl Sherry? With that being said, guys, obviously I've already said it, the reason why I'm making this video tonight. This is going to be a little bit of a gathering, I'll say, a little bit of a gathering or get together for winter solstice. Okay, guys, it's been a little bit since I've been on. The last time I went live was actually when for the 12/12 portal. So that was December the 12th month and the 12th day. So this is, the time of year where obviously it's the winter months, and it's a time of celebration, obviously, because again, I said the 12/12 portal. Now we have the winter solstice, and in a couple of days on the 25th, obviously it's going to be Christmas Day. So I had to make an appearance and show up and whatever. And guys, I was trying to land on, I was thinking, okay, what am I going to talk about for the winter solstice? Obviously, I'm going to talk about what the winter solstice is. And I'll get started on all that. But I had so many different ideas that were coming into my mind, what I wanted to land on for winter solstice. But guys, what I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys is to kind of settle in on the picture that you're looking at right now. And I want to ask everybody what it is you think that you're looking at. What you're looking at in this picture? I want to say what's up to everybody. Hi guys, this is Shadow Girl Sherry. Hi Sandy. I see a Nana. I see a Sandra, Miranda, a Hilda, Lathame, a Nick. Guys, I see a lot of people. A Peter, Suds. Guys, what's up? This is Shadow Girl Sherry. Thank you so much for coming to my a bit of a winter solstice celebration. Just want to have a little bit of a gathering and show up for you guys and just enjoy this. What can we call it, a holiday? Whatever, guys. But first off, again, I want you to take a look at the picture and tell me what you think you're looking at right now. I want to give you a little bit of time and just have you look at the picture and tell me what you think you're looking at right now. And I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to give you a little bit of time to think about it, but I'm going to go ahead and if you've watched any of my other videos, then you already know that my channel, obviously is called Sunset Songs. My channel Sunset Songs is all about my personal journey with the law of attraction. If you are watching this video right now, you've tuned into this live, most likely you already know what the law of attraction is. The law of attraction is the idea that like attracts like. If you are thinking positive, doing positive things, hanging out with positive people, that type of energy, then you would be attracting positive things back in your life. You're going to be attracting more positive people into your life. You're going to be attracting more positive situations, more positive outcomes. You're attracting positive back into your life. On the other hand, the same if you are thinking negative thoughts, hanging out with negative people, the people that always want to look at, the negative side of things. I'm talking about the Debbie Downers, the Nancy Negative, those types of people. You're always hanging out with them. And I'm not saying that, from time to time we don't have our negative thoughts. I struggle with it as well. But the idea is to try to think as positive as you can for the most part. When you start to think negative, try to get back over to the positive side, right? So I think you get what I'm saying. Like attracts like. The positive things attract the positive, the negative attracts the negative. And here on my channel, the idea is we are trying to live our best lives. So why would we want to constantly think negative and do negative things and hang out with negative people? here, that's really not the idea. Obviously, it is like a world of duality, so there is going to be negative things that, will come our way. But my idea here is to try to take that negative energy and transmute it into something positive and make it work for us. So with that being said, guys, I'm still going to go ahead and give you all a little bit of time to look at the picture, tell me what you think it is. And guys, again, I called my channel Sunset Songs. With that being said, I want to explain what a sunset song is. If you've watched any of my other videos, you already know what it is. But anyhow, what is a sunset song? Okay, basically for every what I will call an episode, for every episode, or every time that I go live, for the most part. Sometimes it just doesn't happen that way. Nothing comes to my thoughts or whatever, but tonight it didn't happen that way. For every what I will call an episode or live or whatever that I do for my channel Sunset Songs, before I go live or whatever, I try to tell my higher self or my, I don't know, my spirit team or whatever you want to call it, just try to say, okay, spirit, whatever, higher self, whatever, put a song in my mind, put a song on my heart, make me think of a song, put it in my mind, a song that is, the idea is for the song to basically be tailored around whatever the subject matter is that I'm going to be talking about within that episode of my channel. So tonight for the winter solstice, I almost jumped on, whatever. And you can tell I'm a little bit worked up. It's because I did have a little bit of caffeine today, and I was trying to get my information gathered because, again, I was trying to figure out what exactly I was going to talk about because I was thinking of so many different things. I finally landed on a subject, what I wanted to talk about. Obviously, the winter solstice, but I still had different things that I could have brought into that. With this being said, I'm just like, okay, I need to think of a song that's going to go along with winter solstice. Okay. And, have it pertain or be tailored around the subject matter that I'll be talking about, which would be winter solstice. Okay, guys. Now, I think I mentioned in, the last time when I went live for the 12/12 portal, I mentioned the fact that one of the reasons why, the main reason why I was late, jumping on live for the 12/12 portal was because I got mixed up into watching the documentary. There's a documentary that's, I'd say, is pretty popular right now, I would think. And it has to do with music and, somebody that's, has been popular in music and all that. And that is P. Diddy. Sean Puffy Combs. The documentary is, I think it was called The Reckoning. And I got all into that and the scandal and, wow, everything that, I heard and all this, that, and the third. And obviously that has to do with music. And one of the people that, was mentioned in the Reckoning, the Sean Puffy Combs, the documentary, The Reckoning, and I didn't know that this person had so much to do, with Sean Diddy Combs. But Albie Shore was a part of that documentary. If I've got any like old school, like old head kind of people up in here, who Albie Shore is. Now, I think it was for 1 year during maybe the first day of spring. The first song that came into my mind, that started to play in my mind and my heart was a song by Albie Shore. The song was called Night and Day. Now, guys, does anybody here know, has anybody heard that song by Albie Shore, Night and Day? Obviously, for that time, I could pick that song for a winter solstice, a summer solstice, anything like that, because we're talking about day and night. And obviously, when we have this kind of energy, we're dealing with a balance between day and night. So I started to make that the sunset song again tonight. I thought it would be kind of popular, being that, Albie Shore was mentioned in the Sean Diddy Combs documentary and all that. And guys, I want to say one other thing. If you watched that documentary, And I wanted to bring this up some other time. If you watch the documentary, one thing that got to me is one thing that I'm really into is angel numbers. And if you're watching this, you already know what an angel number is. An angel number is basically a number that I've seen where people say, for the most part, if you've seen this same number 3 times in one day, or this is a number that you just keep seeing repeatedly. You just notice that yesterday you may have seen it a couple of times, and today you saw it a couple of times, the day before, within the last week, whatever. You just keep seeing the same number over and over again, and it could be any number. But if you have a number, another thing that can make a number an angel number is if you have the same number repeated like 3 times. So you could have 111, 222, 333. Obviously for the 1212 portal, we had 1212, the 12th month and the 12th day. Okay, so that's an angel number, bit of a portal there. But with that being said, if anybody, I'm wondering if I'm the only person that noticed on the Sean Diddy Combs documentary, The Reckoning, that Sean Diddy Combs, the childhood home that he grew up in was actually marked with an angel number. Okay, the angel number was 111. Okay, I saw it now. And the thing about it is, I noticed it because I'm so into numbers. Just like right now, I'm looking at the time and it's 10:10. So guys, with that being said, I feel like this is pretty powerful. We are right now joined together as a collective, and it is 10:10. And right now we're within a portal because this is the winter solstice. So a portal is wide open right now. With that being said, this is a lot of intense energy. And what I want you to do here at 10:10 is, being that we are gathered together as a collective, I want you to kind of maybe put your hand over your heart, whatever. Maybe close your eyes, whatever you want to do. If you got a candle lit right now, you might want to look at the candle, whatever. Just close your eyes, whatever you want to do, and just focus on something that you are trying to manifest right now, what you are trying to have appear in your life. Now, think about this. This is a real powerful time because there is a masculine and feminine energy that's pretty intense right now because we're dealing with darkness and light and a balance between that. And we have a portal open. So with that being said, I just want you to think about something that you are trying to manifest, and think of it as if it is already done. It's already happened. And with that being said, through the law of attraction, it's so said that you are attracting it to you, or it's already yours. We're not even going to say we're attracting it. We're going to say it's already ours. It's already yours. So with that being said, I'm going to move on from that. But I hope you got what I said. What you understand what I'm saying when I was talking about the Sean Diddy Combs thing. I was watching the documentary, and I just happened to notice when I'm watching the documentary that his childhood, Sean P. Diddy's home, his childhood home, it was the address was 111. Now, I don't remember the street address and all that, and not getting into all that. But if you watch the documentary and you're as much into angel numbers and things like that, like I am, I always notice, numbers when they are repeated, whatever. And watching the documentary, and I noticed that his childhood home, the number was 111. And, look at the success that Sean Diddy Combs has had. Obviously, he's seen this downfall, but, I guess that was of his own doing, you know what I mean? And, again, I don't want to, use up a lot of time, but I did want to say that. And I also want to mention that the last, the live that I did for the 1212 portal, here I'm talking about Sean Diddy Combs, his address, his house address, childhood house address, at least the number, you know what I'm saying? Because it was on the documentary, The Reckoning. I saw that or whatever, and I wanted to mention it, but I also wanted to mention the idea of a home, because guys, the last live that I did, I actually found a way. You'll have to watch it. I found a way in turning, if you know what a birth chart is, if you know what your birth chart is, then you know that it within your birth chart there are 12 different houses. And if you don't understand what I'm talking about, I break it down a little bit better in the last live that I did. And that live, what did I title it? I think I titled it, Let's Make a Gingerbread House. And if you watch that, you'll go ahead and you'll understand what I'm talking about, the 12 houses. As the year, we go into the new year, within every month of the new year, I'm going to try my best to make it happen. I want to be able to explain the 12 houses. And obviously, being that there are 12 months in the year, I will have, I'll have an opportunity to do that with each month. If you get what I'm saying. I hope I said that right. With each month of the year that's coming in, I will be able to talk about a different house and about how, your birth chart and all that. And the way that I'm going to do it, the way that I opened that door and started that up was to start talking about a bit of a gingerbread house. And what I used was the gingerbread house. It was basically, this is Christmas, and it's kind of like a ritual kind of to make gingerbread houses at this time. But I actually used a gingerbread house. It was a candy house, really a chocolate house that was out during Halloween, and it was the Stranger Things gingerbread or chocolate, whatever house. But the version of it was Stranger Things. Like, there are so many different ones in the store right now. There's probably a Barbie ones. I did that one year for the 12/12 portal. I made a Barbie. It was like a cookie house. You know what I'm talking about. There's Skittle ones. There's all different ones in the store right now. But at that point, I used Stranger Things because I was talking about my strange life. And, when I opened the door, basically, and I looked at my own birth chart. Guys, if you don't believe in it, I'm just putting the idea out there, just try to follow me and watch those videos and just consider the idea. Just consider looking into your birth chart. It's so interesting, and you wouldn't believe how accurate it is. But anyhow, I gotta keep talking. But basically, I was talking about Sean Diddy Combs, his house address. It's a house and all that, and gingerbread houses and all that. But now let me jump forward and talk about the winter solstice, and that's tonight. Okay, guys, I haven't had anybody to figure out what they're looking at right now. I want to say what's up to everybody. I see a Pat. I see a Leticia I don't want to say anybody's name wrong, but guys, what's up? This is Shadow Girl Sherry. I want to thank you so much for joining me. Guys, I want to go ahead and give you that sunset song. Okay, obviously, I've explained what a sunset song is. A sunset song, obviously, I've said it. It is a song every time right before I do a live, make a video, whatever. I try to tell my higher self, my spirit team, whatever you want to call it, whatever, higher self, whatever, spirit, put a song in my mind or in my heart, on my heart, that is pertained around the subject matter, that's tailored around the subject matter that I'm going to be talking about tonight. Obviously, tonight's the winter solstice, and I'm going to say a little bit of a winter solstice gathering. And if you know anything about, obviously with winter solstice, this is a time of like a celebration of the return of the light. And I'm going to explain all that, but, the idea is it's not just, me doing it. Obviously it's winter solstice. It's going on all over the place. There's going to be candles. There's going to be bonfires, that kind of idea. And with that being said, what song popped up in my heart tonight? I already mentioned that I thought about going with I'll Be Sure's Night and Day. But I already used that already. I love that song. But the song that popped up in my mind and in my heart, my spirit guides, higher self, whatever, gave to me was a song called, and guys, let me tell you, this is like one of my favorite, should I call it like a slow jam, or I don't know. And if there's any, like, I'm going to say old heads or whatever present in the house tonight, And I don't want to say it like this because anybody could, can listen to any type of music, whatever. But I'm kind of thinking that if there are like some older, like African American, people, present in the house tonight. I'm Shadow Girl Sherry. I'm African American. But anybody, you know what I'm saying. I'm sure that this song that I'm going to be telling you about has gotten lots of African American or, little babies here. Okay. And let's consider that tonight, guys, is the longest night of the year. Okay. So, this would definitely be a really good time to play a song like this, right? So the song that started, that's going to be the sunset song for tonight is a song by, the song is called Turn Off the Lights. The song is called Turn Off the Lights. And the song is by an African American man. He's now, guys, I'm kind of raising the dead tonight because Teddy Pendergrass he's went over to the other side, if you know what I'm saying. He's passed over. But the song is called Turn Off the Lights. The song was released in 1979 as a single from his album. The album was called Teddy. And Turn Off the Lights was released in 1979 as a single from his album Teddy on June 23rd, 1979. And I got this information looking it up online at Wikipedia. Okay. Okay. Turn Off the Lights was released in 1979 as a single from his album Teddy on June 23rd, 1979, becoming a huge hit in one of his signature, what was called, they're saying it was one of, it became one of what they call becoming a huge hit in one of his signature bedroom ballads. Okay, this song made number 2 on the R&B charts, and it made number 48 on pop charts. Okay, I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the song. There is a 5-minute and 55 second version of the song that is called the 12-inch. Guys, it's the longest night of the year, guys. And I'm thinking about, what you all could be doing right now. But I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight. But it's the longest night of the year. There's lots of things you could be doing right now, but I want to thank you so much for joining me, Shadow Girl Sherry, for my gathering and for my celebration or whatever. But I think you get what I'm saying. Like, this is the longest night of the year. This is, shortest day, longest night of the year. There's lots of things you could be doing there. This is, a time where there is like a bit of a balance between the feminine and the masculine energy. And I'll be talking more about that, but I think you get what I'm saying. Basically, anytime you have a feminine and a masculine energy come together, you've got creation. Obviously, you've got creation. And I would definitely think, I don't know if anyone here has heard this song or you know what I'm talking about. But hopefully if you don't know this song, you'll take a listen to it once the live is over with. I hope you'll stay with me the whole time. But this is like one of my favorite bedroom ballads or slow jams, maybe you might want to call it. It's just a slow love song. And basically Teddy Pendergrass is, giving you instructions, really. Turn off the lights and light a candle and we're going to get things going. Right. And, obviously when anytime a feminine and a masculine energy comes together in like harmony, obviously, there's going to be a fire lit and, there's creation, there's a possibility of a creation and birth and all that, if you get what I'm saying. I kind of feel like, and I have, seen in the spiritual community, I've read it in different places, that if you kind of believe in magic, there's going to be some people that say, okay, and let me just say a little something about that. There's going to be some people, oh no, I don't believe in magic. Okay, that's fine. When I say magic, I'm just saying to look at life do you choose to look at life in a boring, like mundane way, mundane fashion, like everything's boring or whatever? Or do you look at life as in more of a bit of a magical way? Like, what wonderful could happen to me today? What could I kind of, you know, influence? What could I do to kind of influence the outcome of today? Like, what could I do? Like, I could make things just a little bit better. I don't know. Like, you know, if you tell some people that you're saying you believe in magic, they'll say like you're crazy. I have been in some situations where people will say, and it actually happened lately. I was, you know, with some people that would say, okay, well, might ask someone, do you believe in like magical thinking? Because if you were to say that right now in front of these people that you believed in like magical thinking, then they would think that you were crazy, or you were like hallucinating, or we're not even going to go into talking about mental health issues and things like that. What I'm trying to say is, I try to look at life in more of a magical way instead of looking every day as I just woke up and it's just boring. You know, every day you wake up, to me, it's like a gift, and you can work with that gift and see it as magical because, hey, you didn't have to wake up. You get what I'm saying? So just work with that. And I'll leave the whole, you know, magic idea. And I'll say if you think about magic and it makes you feel uncomfortable, or you think about witchcraft and it makes you feel uncomfortable, I'm going to say witchcraft as in, which way do you want to go? Do you choose to look at life in a negative way and walk down like a negative path where you're always thinking negative? Or do you choose to live life in a walk down of more of a positive path and choose positive over the negative? Like, which way do you want to go? That's what I'll say, witchcraft. That's what I'm saying here. And hey, yeah, I do like to work with the elements in nature, herbs, and hey, I like to cook up a little, you know, things in the kitchen. Everybody cooks, right? Everybody mixes recipes together and so on and so forth. Okay. Yeah, I like to pick flowers, all that. Anyhow, guys, let me jump back into it. So I just wanted to lay that down, whatever. But basically, I wanted to give you an idea about that feminine and masculine energy coming together, and the idea of magic. And really, again, when you think about the feminine, the masculine, and if you wanted to think about magic, really, some people look at it as it's kind of like what can I call it? Mind sex in the mind. Like it's having the conscience, am I pronouncing it right? The conscience mind, you know what I'm saying? The conscience mind, penetrate the subconscious. You get what I'm saying? It's the feminine and the masculine coming together and doing their work together. One is penetrating. You get what I'm saying? It's sex magic. It's sex in the mind, if you get what I'm saying. And obviously there is something called sex magic. I'm not going to go into all that, but guys, there's probably a lot of it going on tonight, right? It's probably a lot of that going on tonight. And if you were to go and listen to the song that I just suggested tonight, Teddy Pendergrass's Turn Off the Lights, he's going to be giving you instructions. Turn off the lights and light a candle and going to get it started. And guys, if you listen to this song and in like, it may not be tonight, it may be tomorrow night, whatever. But one thing that I used to hear people say was like, you know, when spring comes, if there's a lot of babies born, like people from like my grandmother's time and things like that, she would tell me this, like the big thing that, you know, that they used to say in her day was, if there's a lot of babies like born in the spring, it was like, well, it was a mighty cold winter. Why? You know, you're thinking, you know, couples are getting together and they're making body heat. They got to stay warm. So come spring, you got all the spring and summer, all that, you got all these births. Because why? It was a cold winter. You get what I'm saying? So anyhow, it's winter solstice, the longest night of the year. We're going to see what happens, you know, come spring and May and June and all that. And it might be that you guys might be coming back thinking Shadow Girl Sherry, because she made the suggestion for you to go and listen to Teddy Pendergrass's Turn Off the Lights. Okay, so let me tell you a little bit more about the song, and then I'm going to go ahead and jump into everything that I wanted to talk about when it comes to the winter solstice. Okay, so there is a 5-minute and 55-second version of this song, and 5 minutes and 55 seconds length, and it is called the 12-inch version of this song. Okay, guys, the 12-inch version of this song. Yes, I said it. The 12-inch version of this song here on the longest night of the year. And 555 is actually an angel number. And obviously because you have 5 repeated 3 times. And 555 is actually a number that is associated with change. Okay, and when you think about 5, you think about change. You might think about money because you think about change, like a nickel. You have a nickel, you have a dime. Okay, before you know it, you got 25 cents. You get what I'm saying? Change. And the idea is when you have change, there might be a little bit of chaos. There might be a little confusion, whatever. But the idea is that number can come with chaos. It can come with confusion. But the idea is change. And, you know, I want you to think about what changes you're trying to make to manifest a better life and, you know, change. That's just the idea. The number 555 is a number that is associated with change. Okay. So I'll leave it at that. The song is 5 minutes and 55 seconds long. That is called the 12-inch version. Okay. There is a 3 minute and 36-second version of the song, Turn Off the Lights by Teddy Pendergrass, and it is the 7-inch version of that song. Okay, guys, you could go and take a listen to that. I've listened to the 12-inch version on YouTube, actually. So, and with that being said, I want to go ahead and make a suggestion that, you know, if you are enjoying this video, this live, I want to make this suggestion. I hope that you will go ahead and join me, you know, follow me here on TikTok, Sherry, Shadow Girl Sherry, Sherry Shadow Closet. Hopefully I mentioned YouTube. Hopefully you will go ahead and find me over on YouTube. What you're going to be looking for on YouTube is Sunset Songs. That's the name of my channel. My channel is called Sunset Songs. There are lots of channels for Sunset Songs, but my version of Sunset Songs is obviously about my personal journey with the law of attraction. When you listen, you know, you click on the video, one of the videos, you listen for a little bit. I'm going to come out and say, this is Shadow Girl Sherry, and this is my channel, Sunset Songs, and all that. So that's the one that you're going to be looking for. Again, my channel is called Sunset Songs. You could also find me over there, Sherry Shadow Closet, Sherry Shadow Closet, Shadow Girl Sherry. And yeah, so I think I've said everything, but I hope that you will choose to go over there, like, click, share, subscribe, all those different things. And yeah, so I've made that suggestion, but let me keep talking about the song and jump into everything that I'm going to be talking about tonight. Okay, so I've told you about both versions of the song. Okay, I want to tell you a little bit more about Teddy Pendergrass. Okay, in March of 1982, Teddy Pendergrass was involved in a car crash. In March of 1982, Teddy Pendergrass was involved in a car crash that left him paralyzed from the chest down. Okay. He continued, even though, you know, he was paralyzed and all, you know, very, very sad. He continued on with his solo career. From what I gather, he announced his retirement from his solo career in the year, he announced his retirement in 2007. Okay, and Teddy Pendergrass died in January of 2010 of respiratory failure. Teddy Pendergrass died of respiratory failure in January of 2010. Okay. So yeah, I've told you a little bit about Teddy Pendergrass. Teddy Pendergrass also, he was in a group. What was the group called? And I like some of their songs too. Oh, Melvin and the Blue Notes. I do believe it was Melvin and the Blue Notes. They had a beautiful song. And I know it'll be a sunset song sometime. It was called "You Know How to Make Me Feel So Good." And guys, that's another one you might want to play tonight if you're trying to get lucky. It's a beautiful song, but the sunset song for tonight is Teddy Pendergrass's "Turn Off the Lights." He's going to give you instructions on everything. He's basically telling you to turn off the lights and light a candle. And yeah, I love this song. But anyhow, guys, I also thought that this was fitting because his name is Teddy. The album's called, the album that this song was presented on was called Teddy. And this is a time where, right now, this is hibernation. We're going in the season of hibernation. And you might think about, bears, like a teddy bear, Teddy Pendergrass, a teddy bear. And the fact that, I can't say bear, you know what I'm saying? They are going into hibernation. So, you think about a bear, and we're talking about, here on my channel, we're talking about living our best lives, and we're talking about living out the things that you might dream about. And just think about a bear and how long they sleep, how long they go into hibernation, how long they rest. And, what might they be dreaming of? I don't know if they dream. I don't know, but it's just the idea. I just wanted to share that, and just the idea of just, I don't know, a cozy teddy bear or whatever. But guys, and just living our best lives and living out our dreams, like making our dreams, turning our dreams into reality. That's what my channel is all about. So, guys, I've given you a sunset song. I hope that you will choose to go ahead and take a listen to that. I really do believe that if there are any like old heads, I'll say, up in here, you already know what the song is. That song has probably gotten lots of, I'm going to say little, I shouldn't say it. I'm going to say little curly haired African-American babies here. But anybody, if you go and listen to that song, it's a beautiful love song. So go ahead and turn off the lights and light a candle. So anyhow, guys, no one has told me so far what they're looking at, what they might feel like they're looking at right now when you're looking at the picture right now. Okay. And I'm wondering, I'll give you a little bit longer to look at it and tell me what you think you see. You know what? Let me go ahead and just break it down and tell you what you're looking at right now. Guys, I was kind of debating and just thinking, okay, what am I going to talk about? Obviously, not too long ago, the last full moon that we had fell under my sign of Gemini, okay? The last full moon that we had fell under my sign of Gemini, and I didn't get a chance to talk about that. I wanted to talk about the energy of Gemini. Basically, I wanted to talk about how Gemini energy, it really has, it has to do with communication. It has to do with, thinking and thoughts and being flighty and all that. And it just makes me think of your head. And it makes me think of your head, and I don't know how to break it down. I'll just save that for another time. But basically, looking ahead, I'll say that. Like, it's an idea of choices. Even when you look at the Lover's Tarot card, that is the card that corresponds with the energy of Gemini. The tarot card that corresponds with the energy of Gemini is the Lover's Tarot card. And the main idea of it, obviously you want to think about love, but it's also the idea of choices, making a choice, okay, this way or that way. And it makes me think of, are you going to look back? Guys, this is something that I've noticed. The more you work with the law of attraction, the more you work with the moon phases and all that, you start to notice different patterns. And one thing that I have noticed is, being that I'm a Gemini, I always get the last laugh. At the end of the year, I always get the final full moon of every year. Gemini always gets the last full moon every year. Okay. But so that makes me think of, your thoughts, which way are you going to go? Are you going to have one foot stuck in the past, or are you going to choose to move forward and look ahead? Look ahead. Are you going to look ahead, move forward, or are you going to keep one foot stuck in the past? You can't have one foot stuck in the past and move forward. That's been one thing that I've always had a problem with. And I think that that's one of the reasons, definitely one of the reasons why I kind of have a hard time with, I do. Manifesting sometimes doesn't happen for me, in the easiest way for me all the time, because I have a hard time with leaving the past behind. And you have to make up your mind on things. And with that being said, are you going to have your one foot stuck in the past, or can you release something and let it go and move forward? What I'm trying to say is looking ahead. Look back. Are you going to look back, or are you going to look ahead? Okay. I'll leave it at that. But the last new moon that we had, guys, if you're into all this different stuff, last night we had a new moon that fell under the sign, and I shouldn't say fall, because Sagittarius energy is about, basically, it's the archer. Not too long ago we had like a Mercury retrograde and all that. So that's like, basically, if you think about it, it's like taking the bow and arrow, and it's like a setback. Okay. But anytime you have a setback, now just hear me out. You have a setback. There's that Mercury retrograde. You had that time to go back and, kind of set things straight. It may have been like, chaotic, whatever, and your thoughts were all over the place, but you could go back, and it was kind of like a reset. Okay. You go back, tie up some ends or whatever. It may have pulled you back a little bit, but the idea is, when something pulls you back, the further it pulls you back, the further, once it's released, you're going to go up. And think about that when you're thinking about Sagittarius energy, because it's the archery. You think about a bow and an arrow. When you take that bow and arrow, when you take you pull it back, it's being pulled back. And that is the way that it's going to be launched forward. You get what I'm saying? Think about that. Like, we had all that setback, Mercury retrograde, and then you had that Gemini energy where, okay, which way are you going to go? Are you going to stay stuck? Or in the past, you're going to make the decision to stay back there? Or are you going to, in the Gemini energy, is a lot of dealing with thoughts and, your mind and all that, your head, okay? So are you going to stay with, keep setting yourself back and keep stepping back and looking back? Or are you going to choose to look ahead and step forward, release the old and step forward? Okay. Look ahead. Okay. And I wanted to make that clear, because the more that you work with the moon phases and all that, you'll start to notice a pattern. And again, I've gotten it now that I always get the last laugh, being that I am a Gemini. And if there's any other Geminis in the house, you know it now. We always get the final laugh. Like at the end of the year, the full moon, the last full moon of the year belongs to us, Geminis. It belongs to everybody. We all have these energies in us, obviously. But the last full moon of the year is always Gemini. Okay. And that is right before you're stepping into, and you're looking ahead into a new year. You're making those final decisions with your head, and then you're stepping into a new year. So basically last night we had that full moon that was in Gemini. Now just last night, we had a new moon in Sagittarius. And again, think about that bow and arrow being, held back. You may have had something that held you back. You may have had some crazy setback, but then that setback was something to propel you forward. If you, made the right decisions, it could propel you up and forward into something new. It may have been a big challenge or whatever, but it's to propel you up and out. You get what I'm saying? Think about a bow and arrow. I hope you get what I'm saying. But anyhow, again, last night we had a new moon in the sign of Sagittarius. And it's a lot of intense energy because now, obviously, tonight is the winter solstice. And winter solstice is all about and I'm going to be reading notes about all that, but let me go ahead and tell you a little something, give you a little bit of a story time, because one thing that is suggested during the winter solstice is, and I'm going to be reading that, talking about that here in just a little bit, but one of the suggestions for like something to do is to share stories. You're going to be talking about things that, reflecting on things that things that have gone on, in the year. Just thinking about what went on in the year, what good things happened, what are you thinking that you want to release, whatever. It's a time to gather and like tell stories, right? So I got a little bit of a story time for you. And then, because I got to explain to you what you're looking at right now, because no one said anything, and it makes sense that you wouldn't. And then I'll read my other notes, but I got to tell you what you're looking at right now, because nobody said anything about it. Okay. What happened was, guys, I thought that this would be the perfect picture for tonight. Like, I didn't have to go and look too far. When I've said it here on my channel before, that this is all about my personal journey with the law of attraction, where I am taking you by the hand and taking you along on that experience with me. And I am telling you things about my everyday life. Okay. And with that being said, a lot of times the pictures or thumbnail, whatever that I show you all, these are pictures that are gathered from my own personal experience. These are things that I've done within the course of a day, the course of the year, whatever. And these are just pictures these pictures are taken from my phone. Okay. Obviously for me, it's very, very important for me to include my personal journey, and for me to share the things that's happening in my experience. And I could go ahead and probably get a lot more subscribers and grow a lot faster if I would do things as in, okay, have like, the pictures like professionally done, or you get what I'm saying. Or if there's a lot of people that they don't even really make their videos. I guess, they're having AI do everything. You could go and they have AI now where you could, have a video or whatever made up of yourself, and AI could make it look like a cartoon, or AI could make up another person. You describe what you want the person to look like, and then they come up. That's not what I want to do. For right now, my idea is I'm Shadow Girl Sherry, and you don't know what I look like, and I don't know how long it's going to stay that way, but it's just about being a little bit mysterious. But I do like to take from my own personal experience and share with you my journey. And it's all about the things that I've done, the things that I'm doing, what's working, what's not working, and we're walking on the path together, right? We're talking about songs, we're talking about a little bit of everything, and we're manifesting, okay? And when things aren't going the best, then we're talking about the negative, and we're trying to transmute it, okay? But basically, this picture, this was just a part of my journey, right? What you're looking at right now, I think I've said it a couple of times here on my channel that, I love animals, and I love cats. My co-host here, I say she's my co-host here on my channel. I say that I have a cat co-host here on my channel, and my cat co-host is my cat Sasha. Okay. Now, what you're looking at right now is it's a cat. You're looking at a cat right now. That's the silhouette of a cat. And the thing about it is, for my picture, Shadow Girl Sherry, here on Shadow Girl Sherry Shadow Closet, that's actually a picture of my silhouette. You just don't know what I look like, but that is my actual silhouette. And then in time, hopefully I'm going to come out and, it's all about Shadow Girl Sherry is the idea. I come to find out that I need to do shadow work. And I want to go ahead and say that if you are watching this video right now, if this is shown up on your For You page, it might mean that because you are looking at someone who calls herself Shadow Girl Sherry, and you don't even know what I look like, you're looking at a picture of my silhouette, a shadow, it may mean that you need to do shadow work as well. I'm just making that suggestion. Look into it a little bit. And really, I've come to find out that shadow work, I didn't even know what shadow work was when I first came up with the idea of my channel. I had already come up with the name of my channel, and I was making videos or whatever, and I knew that I wasn't going to appear. I wasn't appearing in my videos or anything like that. But somewhere along the line, I just started calling myself Shadow Girl. And at that point, I had no idea what shadow work was. I just started calling myself Shadow Girl. And then the next thing I know, I joined up Shadow Girl Sherry, right? And then, the more and more that I kept, making videos or anything, different things like that, I started noticing like it was a particular person kept popping up, and it was Shira 7. Shira 7. And right now I'm reading a book by Shira 7, but that's a whole other story. But basically her videos kept popping up. And finally I'm like, wait a minute, let me go ahead and see what this lady's talking about. And that's when I started finding out, about shadow work. The suggestion was, you know what? My phone was making the suggestion to me. The algorithm picked up, and it was sending me shadow work videos about shadow work. And it's like, okay, Shadow Girl Sherry, I need to do some shadow work. I've come to find out that shadow work really has to do with inner child healing. And then in the spiritual community, there are people that say that shadow work could also mean like the parts of yourself that you might be ashamed of. It's a little bit oppressed. Or I think that's the word I'm thinking of, that the correct word. Like it's the part that, a little bit of shame or whatever, but it's something, and it could also be looked at as a point of power. Like if you work with this shadow energy, and there are going to be things that are going to be brought to the light by working with this energy. And it is a point of power. Like this is where the power is. And this is where the power is. And Shira 7 really goes into it, but there's lots of videos about shadow work. But some people just say it's, you need to do some inner child healing. And then there are other people that say that this is, it's obviously it's a point of power. You work with it, your life's going to get better. But some people say it's kind of like a little bit of maybe a child throwing a temper tantrum. And then there are those that say that it's kind of like a little brat. And then there are those that might say it's like a little bit of a bitch, right? Little bitchy energy there. Like it's something you need to work through, but it's going to help you. It's there to help you. You need to work through it. So I'll leave it at that. But being that you're watching this, you're watching this video of Shadow Girl Sherry, it may mean that you need to do a little bit of shadow work. Hey, maybe you're just watching this video because this is popped up on your For You page because you're into the law of attraction. It may be that just for tonight, you're celebrating winter solstice with me, but you get what I'm saying, guys. But basically, guys, for a while, I had been listening to meditations. And if you're watching this, you probably already know, you've heard of like the different frequencies that you can listen to. You can go on like YouTube or whatever, and there's different frequencies or like hertz or whatever that you can listen to, and they all work. They're there to help you. You listen to them, and they can help you with manifestation. They can help you with Oh, there's all different types of frequencies. And before you go and you think, oh, this is stupid and you don't believe in it. Okay, this is just quickly came to my mind, just came to my thought. I want to say this before you want to think that the idea of listening to a frequency or like a sound frequency could really help you. This is how I keep believing in it. One night, there was a time where you can find a frequency for just about any daggone problem you have. Okay. There have been a couple of times where I have had like really bad congestion and my nose was like really stopped up, right? Like I'm just trying to basically, I'm just going to say, trying to get the snot out of my nose, like, right? Like, but it's not breaking up. Like it's just stuck up in there and it won't come out. My head's hurting. It's clogged. Everything's blocked. Okay. And I'm not saying that all of them, I had to kind of find certain ones. I found one, I'm telling you, it was a frequency that I found on YouTube. I just put in there typed in frequency for maybe it may have said a stuffy head or sinus congestion, okay, or a cold or whatever. I started to play that frequency, and I'm going to say maybe within 5 minutes of playing it, all of a sudden I started to feel my ears kind of pop, like they're opening, right? And this is the whole idea of it was basically, my sinuses, they were opening, right? I think the first thing that I felt was my ears kind of popping. And I'm not saying that it was the most comfortable, because it wasn't. It wasn't the most comfortable at first. But what I did, I just kind of took the phone, because I played it from my phone. I took it away from my, put it away from my head just a little bit so it wouldn't be right up on my head. So it wouldn't be so uncomfortable. And I could feel like the first thing was I could kind of feel my ears kind of unclogging and popping. And then the next thing I know, I started feeling like this sensation around in my nose, in my head. And then the next thing I know, I mean, I just got to say it, guys, snot just started just coming out of my nose. But guys, that's what I wanted. Like I was going to be laying in my bed suffering all night, not being able to sleep, if I hadn't have found this frequency. I'm not saying all of them work, but the one that I looked it up, and I found one, and I'm like, and it was probably about 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes of listening to that frequency, I think it was one of those ones where I could have played it all night. You can play some of them and they'll play all night. And all of a sudden, snot just starts, I got to be real, I'm just saying it. It just starts coming out of my nose. And before I knew it, I was sleeping comfortably, right? So before you think that these things don't work, if you ever, you're suffering with your nasal passages, being clogged, your sinuses being closed, I'm not going to say that you're going to find the perfect one right away, but type it in and you'll know what I'm talking about. You're going to get that comfort. You're going to get your sleep. Yeah, you're going to sleep good. And with that being said, if a frequency can work for that, then why wouldn't it work for other things? Okay, there are frequencies to open the different chakras. There's frequencies for everything. If you're trying to attract love, if you're trying to attract a better job, like you want to attract money. The idea is you have to, the more you listen to it, I would say at least 21 days, because that's how long it takes to build a habit. There are some of those that say that they'll say, okay, well, listen to this for 21 days, 21 nights. And then I wondered for a while, like, why is it 21 days? And then I got to talking to different people, and, two heads are better than one. I got around somebody and they're like, well, the reason why it's 21 days is because it takes 21 days to build a habit. Okay. And, I also recently found out something, and I should save this for my Mercury retrograde video, but, Mercury retrograde, for the most part, and this is about making new habits. If you think about it, breaking that old stuff and making a new habit, Mercury retrograde, for the most part, it's 3 weeks. And then something told me, okay, look up how long, how long Mercury retrograde lasts. 21 days, guys. 21 days. And that's how long it takes to build a new habit. Okay, so I just wanted to share that. I'll probably bring it up at another time, whatever, but I just felt called to share that tonight. Guys, if you are enjoying anything that I'm saying, if you're feeling this, if, I hope that I like lots of, I got to accept whatever you send me. If you put a thumbs down, I got to accept it. It's all about the growth. You're letting me know either way, even, any kind of attention's attention. You know what I'm saying? It's pushing you, but of course, I like to get the good stuff. I like to think that what I'm saying is helping you. If you're feeling what I'm saying, I hope that you will choose to like, follow, all those different things here. Follow me here on TikTok. Go ahead and find me on YouTube under Sunset Songs, Shadow Girl Sherry's Shadow Closet. But if you would really like to let me know that you're feeling what I'm saying, you're getting anything out of what I'm saying, I hope that you will leave me some hearts. But what I really like, and this is what this time right now is about, it's about light. Okay? I would like it. If you are feeling what I'm saying, I love candles. I have said before that right now, this is a bit of a gathering, a warm, like winter gathering, right? I've said before that I have got, for the most part, for every day, I try to do this. I have what I call a bit of a community altar. I have this all really started on the 8th month, 8th day, which was the Lion's Gates portal, right? Leo energy. It's a whole story behind it. I had, that's the 8th month, 8th day, the first day of the Lion's Gates portal, or the height of the Lion's Gates portal, the 8th month, 8th day. That's the first time that I decided to go live. I wanted to do, it's a time where Leo season, you're supposed to be bold, come out, be your authentic self, step out, put yourself out there, whatever. I was a bit of a cowardly lion. I didn't come out and show you what I look like. You still don't know what I look like, but I said one thing that I'm going to do. I'm nervous about talking, but at the same time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go live. And since I've started to go live, I found that I actually like it. There's sometimes when I first, start talking, I get a little bit, I'm a little nervous or whatever, but then it's just so much easier for me now, instead of making a video, making a video where, I'm going to talk and make it and then upload it later. It's just so much easier for me to just go live, put a picture up and just go live and join you guys. And if I'm making choke up or whatever like that, then that's just what happened. But it's so much easier to go live. And right now, guys, I'm just letting you know how much I like it, because I've actually gone over an hour with this live. And right now, if you know anything about that, most people, TikTok always lets me know that I have a way in going over. Like I am definitely a Gemini. I can talk if you give me the platform, you give me the stage, I'll say, to talk. I just had to build up that confidence to do it. But I'm going to move this puzzle piece over and I'm going to continue this live. And with that being said, it is, I've gone over an hour, and TikTok always tells me that, I usually go longer than most creators, right? They're not this long-winded, but I don't have a problem with it because I'm a Gemini. But I thought I was going to have such a hard time with it when I first started going live, but now I realize I love it. I might get a little bit nervous, but it goes away, right? But, so guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue to go live now, but, being that this is TikTok, the idea is about ticking and talking, kind of, say what you got to say. But when you go live, you have the option. You can keep talking as long as people are joining you. Like, why not? And but if you want to see this live, come back and see this live, watch this live again, which I hope you will. Like, that spreads me into the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? It pushes me out. You're not going to be able to see this live in its entirety here on TikTok. What I'm going to do, I'm just going to make little clips of this live, and that will be here for you to watch later here on TikTok. But once you go over an hour on TikTok, they won't let you upload the live in its entirety. So if you want to see this live again in its entirety, along with any other of my lives, I hope that you will choose to go ahead and join me on my channel on YouTube, which is called Sunset Songs. Okay. Go ahead, join me over there, like, click, share, subscribe, all those different things. And I want to let you know that whenever you choose to like, click, share, and subscribe, basically, guys, every day, I have what I call a community altar. Basically, I started this up during the Lionsgate's portal. I had a candle, and the first time that I went live, the candle was not lit. Because people, there were people that joined my live. I do believe the first live I did, I had like 13 people, which maybe that wasn't a lot, but I was very happy with it. And actually 13 is a very powerful feminine number, right? So I looked at that as a good thing. So after that first live, because I saw, there were people that joined me for the first live, I was kind of thinking I was going to jump on and nobody was going to join me. It didn't happen. There were 13 people that joined me. That basically let me know that I lit a bit of a fire. Like I had people listening to me. So in the first video that I did live, I had a candle. It was a guava scented candle. It was a very bright yellow candle, beautiful scent, guava scented. And it was called Sunset Guava. Basically, the idea that candle was not lit in that first time I went live, but because there were people that listened to me, the second time I went live, I showed a picture. I uploaded another thumbnail picture, whatever, and that same candle was lit. And that was because by those 13 people listening to me and joining my live, that let me know that I lit a bit of a fire in my listeners. That's why they came and they listened to me. Otherwise, they wouldn't have joined me, right? And by doing that, I look at it as I lit their fire. So since I lit their fire, then they gave me the permission to light mine. So basically, that's why the second time when I went live, that candle, in the first time it wasn't lit. The second time I went live, the candle was then lit. You saw the lit candle. Okay. And every time that you choose to like, click, share, subscribe, all those different things, you are relighting that candle and you're letting me know, okay, let's keep going. Like Shadow Girl Sherry, you're doing your thing. You're encouraging me. And that's what I want to do. I am here. I want to light a candle within you. If there is some day that you have gone and you just had a horrible day, and I want to think that you could get on TikTok or on Facebook, or not Facebook, when you're not Facebook, okay? Not Facebook. I want to think that if you were to hop on YouTube and you listen to one of my videos, and eventually I want to be able to go live while I'm going live on TikTok, I want to be, have both going at the same time, be going live on TikTok and YouTube at the same time. I got to figure out how to do it. But I want to think that if you were having a bad day, it could be my voice that could encourage you to light that candle again. Like, hey, I had a bad day, but I'm not going to let that bad day or somebody around me being negative, or somebody said something, they didn't like something I did, or they didn't like an idea I had, or they just thought that this or that or the third or whatever, and they made me feel bad about myself. That was only temporary because I'm jumping back in the game. We are here for each other and we're lighting each other's candles, and it's about keeping on going. We keeping on pushing through. So whenever I would like to think that I could be that voice that could inspire you, could get you back into reading your affirmations, could get you back in the game if you feel like you've kind of fallen off your horse. Okay. So with that being said, if you're feeling anything that I'm saying, I want to let you know that I really like candles. Like if you could leave a candle here in the chat, if you could leave me a heart in the chat and let me know that it's encouraging. You're encouraging me and you're letting me know that I am encouraging you. And basically, guys, when I say a community altar, I took the candle that I was working with at first and I try to burn it every day. And what I've done, I've turned it into, it's a community altar, but I've made it portable. So what I've done is, I say it's a warm gathering that we're having tonight for solstice. I've taken that candle, I have it down, and basically it's like a pot or a tureen, whatever. And the pot has a top. The candle's down in the pot. Obviously I lift the top off of it, and I light the candle. And before I go live, I'll burn incense and, clear some energy and, get rid of the negative energy, open on what you get what I'm saying. And then I light the candle. And basically, if I don't go live, I try to light this candle every day. I try. Some days I don't get a chance to because I get busy or whatever, but I try to light that candle every day. And I think of every time I light that candle, I'm not only lighting it for myself and to encourage myself, but I'm also thinking about you guys. And this is about us manifesting our best lives. And it's a community altar. I think about you guys all the time. You encourage me. And I just wanted to share that. But right now, I have that pot. It's basically, it looks like if we were all sitting at a table right now, we're all gathered together for winter solstice, right? We could have this pot, and it's basically like a soup, like, what do you call it? A soup tureen or whatever. You could have like soup in this pot. And if we were all, say I'd like to think we're sitting at like a huge table, like, guys, has anybody ever watched the movie Coming to America? It's an old movie, Coming to America. Eddie Murphy's in the movie, right? He's a prince. And then, of course, there's a king. The king is James Earl Jones, right? And James Earl Jones, he was the voice of the Bible. They had a version of the Bible where, and what a perfect voice to read the Bible. Come on now. Okay. If you want to think about God having a voice, you know what I mean? James Earl Jones, right? He reads the Bible to you, but he played the king in Coming to America. But right now that thought just came to me because I'm thinking of the long table that they have. I believe it may have been Eddie Murphy or the prince's 21st birthday. They have this huge table that they set at, right? And I'm just thinking about this tureen or whatever at the table. It has handles, and then if everybody were there, we would be passing it down, and everybody it has a ladle and everything. You take the ladle, and we could all just take from this pot, and it would be like a warm soup that we would be having or whatever. But instead of it having soup in it, I've got, it's a portable altar, and I've got our candle in it. And this is basically my winter solstice gathering, guys. I want to thank you so much. And guys, once again, guys, it's 11/11. It's 11/11. And today is this is the winter solstice. So this is a very, very powerful portal is open. And if you think of the numbers 11/11, it looks like two doors. So you're walking through two doors, basically. They're doors joining, okay? And right now, being that it's 11/12 right now, but being that we are all gathered together as a collective right now during this very, very powerful portal, the winter solstice, I want you to think of something that you are manifesting. And I want you to either, I don't know, you may have a candle lit. I got a candle lit for all of us. I'm going to kind of look at the candle that I've lit for all of us. And I'm going to think about something that I'm manifesting. And I'm going to think about it as if it's already mine. Place my hand over my heart and look at it and think of it as it's already mine. And I want you to do the same thing. I want you to think about something that you are manifesting. And I want you to think about it as if it is already yours. We're not saying please, please, please. We're not begging. We're saying thank you, thank you, thank you. Because this is an abundant time. Okay? This is a time of abundance. This is a time of feminine and masculine energy. They're joined together right now. That's creation. Okay? So think of something that you're trying to manifest and look at it as if it has already happened. And guys, I'm looking at the names right now, and I see chicken nuggets. I see chicken nuggets. I see a Rick. I want to say full names and everything, but I don't want to pronounce the names wrong. But guys, I'm not even going to say it, but somewhere during this live, I'm not going to say when or whatever, but I actually saw my own birthday as an angel number within this live. And I haven't, revealed, what my birth date is or anything like that. But I definitely see that as that's a present. Like the universe has got something in store for me, and I know that it has something in store for you. We just have to, think of it as if it's already yours. It's not please, please, please. It's thank you, thank you, thank you, because it's already done. This is a portal and it's wide open right now. Okay, so with that being said, I wanted to share that with you because we're all gathered together as a collective, and that's some really powerful energy, right? Okay, guys, so I've shared the whole idea. I also want to say that when it comes to the whole, I said coming to America, I wanted to save this for another time, but Eddie Murphy, I forget what his name was. I can't think of what his name was in the movie. And I've watched the movie a million times. I know Arsenio Hall, his character, I think it was Semi or something, but I can't remember what Eddie Murphy's he was the prince, but what they decided on, they were going to go, he wanted to find his queen. He wanted to find a queen, but he wanted to find somebody. His parents had picked someone for him. It was an arranged marriage. It had already been arranged. They picked a wife for him and everything. But he decided that he didn't want somebody that was just going to give in and, oh, whatever I say, whatever. He wanted her to have her own thoughts, her own mind, her own opinion. And he wanted to go out and find a woman. So the idea, the movie was called Coming to America because he came to America. And they decided, where am I going to go? Well, I'm going to go to Queens. They went to Queens, New York, and he figured he would go there and he would find his queen. So, and it's funny, my name is Shadow Girl Sherry. The lady that he picks that becomes his queen, her name in real life, her first name is Sherry. So, guys, now I see someone has joined, and their name is, they go under the name Stone Soup. Hi, Stone Soup. I am loving all this, right? I'm loving all this. I got my ladle and our altar set up, and yes, I'm having so much fun. And guys, I hope that you are having fun as well. I hope that you will choose to like, click, share, subscribe, and guys, I would be so happy if you would leave me some hearts. Let me know that you're liking what I'm saying, that you're following me. I really like candles. I would really like some fire. If you have some fire that you could send me, I would love that. If you could leave that here in the chat. It's so encouraging. But anyhow, let me tell you guys, because I gotta hurry. Man, guys, I've been talking forever. I might have to continue this live tomorrow night and tell you all about the winter solstice. And isn't that crazy? Because I've been talking so much. Guys, I'm a Gemini. Okay. But right now, what I had been trying to manifest for a while, I was listening to a black cat I was listening to black cat meditations. And again, you can find different meditations and frequencies, like guided meditations and frequencies. You can find subliminals, where, it's kind of like you can't necessarily make out the words, what they're saying. And I want to tell you, be careful with those, because you never know just be careful with those. Use your discernment. But, if you go over on YouTube, I'm just making that suggestion. There are guided meditations, there's subliminals, there's frequencies that you can listen to. And again, earlier, and I see Stove has joined. Guys, this is powerful because, I got a soup terrain here. I see Stove, I see a Granny. What's up, Granny? I love this. Like my grandma has been a wonderful cook. I am loving these messages that are coming through for me. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. This is Shadow Girl Sherry. Thank you for joining me for the winter solstice. You guys could be doing so many things, but yet you're here with me, and this just warms my heart. Thank you so much. But again, I just want to tell you that what you're looking at right now is a black cat. Okay. What you're looking at right now is a black cat. And for the longest time, I had been listening to black cat like meditations or subliminals. And the whole idea with a black cat is some people think that black cats are like, you know, they're scared of them. They think they're terrible. But I want to think that anybody that's joined here, you're in the law of attraction. You might be into a little bit of witchy things, whatever. I want to think that you like black cats. And if you look at it the way I do, and the way, times are changing, so on and so forth, we are, I think it's called the age of Aquarius. You know, we have broader thoughts and broader minds. Our minds are more open to things now, right? And I would like to think that you already know. You're watching this right now. You're into the law of attraction. You most likely already you've seen, you may have read different information that black cats, um, they're wonderful. When you align with a black cat, you are aligned with your manifestation powers. Like you are, um, this is dark energy, and it's powerful. It's powerful. Like, um, you know, when you see darkness, that's where birth happens. Like a woman's womb is, it's dark energy. The moon is feminine energy. That's dark energy. That's where things grow. Okay. The male energy is the sun. Okay. But the masculine is the sun. The feminine is the moon. The moon is like a dark energy, and it's about bringing something in. Women bring things in. It's darkness. You can't see what's, a woman can be pregnant, and you wouldn't have to know it until she starts to show. Like that's her secret. So within darkness, there is a very powerful energy of creation. So the next time you see a black cat, think about that and just remember that you are aligned with creative energy. That's what's said, that's the reason why that black cat has crossed your path. Okay, we're not thinking these old thoughts like, oh, well, the black cat is terrible and we're going to sacrifice the black. Oh, please don't do that. I love black cats. And I would go into the whole story of like at Halloween, around about Halloween time, I think it's either Petco or Pet Smart or whatever. One year I went in and I was wondering why I saw these black cats. And one of the workers there, she let me know that it is because during Halloween, people like to sacrifice black cats. Okay. I don't like that idea, right? I love black cats. Okay. And, the idea is I was listening to the black cat meditations, the subliminals, and I picked one that I really, really liked. And I was listening to it. I listened to it for a while. And finally, I'm not saying that this black cat, I've come to find out that the cat is a part of the community, right? But it's still, for the longest time, there weren't any black cats in my community. I'm just being real. They weren't in my community. And I kept listening to them. And then I noticed a family moved in, right? And I think it might be their cat. I'm not sure. Because let me tell you, if the cat had kept showing up, and from time to time, the cat shows up. But if I had one thought that cat did not have a home, that was going to be my forever cat. I was going to keep that cat. But I was told that the cat had an owner. But the cat just makes its rounds and it likes to, you get what I'm saying. But basically, I had been listening to black cat meditations, and some people would say, "Oh, it was just because it, it was in the proximity, close to where." No, it wasn't like that at first. I kept listening to it, and I don't want people to be, "Oh, well, you're crazy because you believe in magic or whatever." Okay, I don't think that those types of people would be joining my live because, hey, why not believe in a little bit of magic? I mean, we are magic, right? Like your parents didn't have to meet. Your parents didn't have to meet and make you. You are magic. You know what I mean? That's just the way I look at it. And we are living magical lives over the mundane. Okay. And, we're just trying to live our best lives, and that's the idea. But basically, I kept listening to the meditation, and finally it happened. And I got to hurry up with this because I haven't read the information that I have. But what you're looking at right now is I had been trying to finally, it happened. I manifested the black cat. I'm going to say it manifested. Other people say you're crazy. It did manifest, whatever. Okay, whatever. Okay. But, and I've seen it again. I have seen it again. I'm telling you, I have seen my birth date in this live, y'all, you guys. I've actually seen the actual time that I was born, like down to the minute in this live. Y'all, I'm on a roll here. But anyhow, let me keep going. Basically, I was trying to manifest a black cat. It happened. I didn't keep the cat or anything because I kind of think that the cat has an owner, but the cat makes visits to me, right? And there was this one particular night, I had been out, I had, ran some errands. My grandmother and I had actually went and had thank you guys for sending me those hearts. That warms my heart. Thank you so much. That sends me deeper into the algorithm, and that's what I'm trying to do. When you do that, you are sending my message in my channel, so Shadow Girl Sherry, out. You're sending me out into the algorithm, out into the universe. And last night, it was a new moon in Sagittarius. You are putting me out there like the bow and arrow. We're moving forward, right? And I'm hoping that we are doing this together. Every time you like, click, share, subscribe, you're getting my message out to somebody else, somebody that needs to get this message just like you've gotten it, right? And we're encouraging each other. So thank you so much. This encourages me so much and lets me know that you're listening to me, you're enjoying what I'm saying. So I'm going to keep talking. So anyhow, guys, basically, my grandmother and I had went out, and I had asked her to, gave her a couple of suggestions as to where we could go and eat. And I know some people would be like, well, why would you take your grandmother to McDonald's? I took my grandmother to McDonald's because she wanted to try the Grinch meal, right? She likes the movie The Grinch, right along with Home Alone and all those things that come on at this time of year. And she wanted to have the Grinch meal. We had the meal. She enjoyed it. We both got a pair of socks. We had the Grinch fries. They were great. Good meal. I said at first that I wouldn't go back for it again, but you know what? I might do it before it's gone. Yeah, I might have the Grinch meal again, or I might just go and have just another, Big Mac. Every once in a while, I get a craving for a Big Mac, and she gets a craving for a Big Mac, and we go out and we just have a girls' night out or day out, lunch or whatever, go to the park. Or right now it's kind of cold, so we could go and get something and, come back and have it at in a warm, cozy setting or whatever. But I took my grandmother out for lunch. We had the Grinch meal. She loved it. Later on, I came home, and when I came home, I was doing a couple of things, and I had some groceries that I had to put away. I had to, gather together and bring inside my house or whatever. And I was just setting out my car because I like nighttime, whatever. And, being aware of my surroundings and all that as well. Always be aware of your surroundings, whether you're a man or a woman. Come on now. We got to be safe. But anyhow, I was getting my stuff together, and I'm coming in, obviously, at this time of year. We have, darkness lasts longer, and obviously tonight is the longest night of the year, right? But it gets dark earlier, obviously, at this time of year. So I'm setting out my car, gathering my stuff together and whatnot, getting my groceries and everything. And I'm about to come in, right? I'm getting ready to get out of my car, open my door, and come inside. And I turn around, and I notice something. I'm like, wait a minute, is that my little black cat friend? Is that my little black cat friend? Or could this be like another black cat? Am I so powerful that I've manifested yet another black cat? Okay, either way, I couldn't tell, but it's dark outside, pitch black outside, right? It's dark outside. And, but I noticed something, and I'm like, I think I just saw a black cat. Right? I think I just saw a black cat. I'm looking, and then just as quick as I thought I saw it, it was gone, right? It was gone, but I'm like, no, I'm not crazy. I saw it. And I looked at it as I'm still in my power. I'm manifesting. Things are good, right? And I'm looking around. I'm like, where did the cat go? Where did it go? I know I'm not crazy. I know I saw it. I know I'm not hallucinating, whatever. And I just sat in my car and I'm like, let me look around a little bit. And then I let it pass and I'm like, I know I saw it, but it went away. Guys, I sat there for a little bit and I'm not going to lie. I was out in my car for a little bit. I was probably out in my car maybe 20 minutes later, right? Guys, I happened to look over and I'm looking, I'm sitting in my driveway. I look next door, right? I look next door, the vehicle next door, right? There's the vehicle next door. What you're looking at right now is my neighbor's pavement, right? And I'm sitting in my car and I'm just looking and I'm thinking that I'm looking at a bumper. I'm thinking that I'm looking at like a car like bumper, the front of my neighbor's car vehicle, right? I'm looking and I'm like, wait a minute. Is that a bumper? Is that the bumper or and what it was, I'm looking at it and I noticed it moved a little bit. And I'm like, okay, bumpers don't move. Bumpers don't move, right? And what happened was I'm like, that's my little black cat friend. So guys, what you're looking at right now is the bumper of a car, right? You're looking at the bumper of a car and that little, thing that's protruding out, that's not the bumper of the car. And then if you look at it more, you can kind of see the silhouette of its ears. That's a black cat. And what it was right under the car. And I guess it was trying to, using it as like, shelter, maybe a little bit of heat. It was a cold night. It wasn't raining or anything like that, but the cat was just under the car and its head was right under the bumper. And there was no worries because, my next door neighbor, they're in for the night, whatever. Not, they're older, so they're not, they don't have to worry about the cat getting run over or anything like that. So, but what you're looking at is the bumper of a vehicle, and then where you would think that's the extension of the bumper, that's the cat's face. And if you look at it closely, you can see the outline of its ears. And the only way that I realized that was what that was, instead of it being the bumper, I mean, it's a dark night, was because it moved. And I'm like, oh, I've got to get a picture of this. Now, this is a picture, but I also have a video of it. So sometime I'm going to upload, it's like a couple little videos. I'm going to put them together and I'm going to make it like a short here I'll upload it here on TikTok, and then I'll also include it on YouTube. But that's what you're looking at right now. And so that happened here in this month, the Grinch meal, had the Grinch meal, came home, come inside, put my groceries away. And that happens, right? So that's one thing that I wanted to share with you. I wanted to write on here like Shadow Girl Sherry, winter solstice gathering or whatever, but that would have taken away from you being able to see that this is a black cat. Okay. And, another thing that happened was, today, now this was another day that I saw this, but today it happened. I went in my car, and on days like this, there's little things. I try to, go out in nature, get grounded a little bit. It's cold, so I didn't take my shoes off and like do the grounding technique of like putting my feet down in the earth because, I didn't want my feet to get cold. I don't want to get a cold. But, I kind of touched the grass. I put my hand up against a tree, grounding, and you know what I mean? Just touch the tree, just kind of get out in nature, and just, taking the idea that this, this is going to be the shortest day of the year, but the longest night. And I just kind of just communed in nature, right? I'm sitting out there, and right now this is the year of the snake, right? And if you know what I'm talking about, this is a number 9 year. I don't want to go into all that because basically it's a number 9 year. Being that it's a number 9 year, this is the year of the snake. And this is a Chinese year of the snake. And when I say the year of the snake, it's a year, the idea of this year was about transformation, and it's about change. Now, why a snake is a symbol of change and transformation. Why? Because a snake sheds its skin. So if you were to go out and see a snake skin, the snake has changed because it has left something behind. It's left the snake skin behind, and it's moved on. So the snake could have been in your yard. It shed its skin, left the skin in your yard, and it could be in the next yard. You could be in your neighbor's yard. Just like I was in my car and I'm in my yard, and then I'm looking over at my neighbor's house and yard or whatever, and I'm looking at their vehicle. I looked down and I saw this cat, right? So basically, I told you the idea of the snake. A snake is a symbol of transformation and change. And being that this is the year of the snake, it said that if you have this has been a challenging year for you, this has been a hard year, basically you're right where you're supposed to be, because it was supposed to be a challenging year. There was supposed to be a little bit of chaos, because what does that mean? It means that there's some change going on. And when there's change, there's transformation going on. And, you're trying to change. We're trying to attract better things. We're trying to have better things. We're trying to be more of our authentic self. Like we're changing, right? We're always changing. Life is all about change. But this year was a big, powerful year for change, right? And if you had a hard year, if it was chaotic, whatever, that's what it was supposed to be. And, I'm sorry. And it's been a crazy year for me, but I'm just letting you know that if it's been that way for you, it's awesome, right? It's awesome. So, with that being said, I went outside, and today, I just wanted to kind of ground myself, whatever. And, got in my car, and I like to kind of, go off to myself a little bit. It's kind of like a staycation, and, I like to just be in my yard or be in my car, because I love my car, right? I love my car. Okay. I can go there and I can be alone. I can collect myself, whatever. And my car's my car. If I want something, I want to have something. I want to think, okay, I don't know. I can just I don't know. It's my car. You get what I'm saying? It's my car. Just like your car's your car. Okay. My neighbor's car is their car, whatever. You got the keys to your car, because it's your car. But anyhow, basically, guys, I'm out in my car, chilling, whatever. And, I was frustrated. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little frustrated today. And, I was kind of wondering, am I going to be able to do a live today? What am I going to talk about? Am I going to be able to gather my information up? What do I want to talk about? What am I going to talk about? How am I going to, put it all together, whatever. And I was just, not just that, I was just frustrated today. I was a little bit frustrated, and I was mad at myself, because I'm like, this is not the day to be frustrated. You need to be happy, because you're trying to attract more happiness into your life, right? And I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, sitting in my car, and I'm thinking, and I'm like, I keep, seeing these angel numbers, and I even saw, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about, if you see one of those things that like, it's like a seed, or it's like a thing, like you'll see it floating in the air, and they say, okay, when you see it, make a wish. Or you could go up to like, it's like dandelions. They have like all the little seeds. Like, it's not a dandelion, but I think it's what a dandelion becomes. You get what I'm saying? You take it, you blow on it, and then you make a wish. Okay, well, I saw something like that, and I know you know what I'm talking about. It's floating around the air, and I actually saw the seed part of it. And it just floated up in the air right in front of me, and I could see it from my car. And I'm like, I love that, because this is a time where you're supposed to be planting a seed. Because think about it, a male and a female energy comes together. The female, you've got an egg, but a man, the male energy is like a seed. The male energy plants the seed. You see what I'm saying? And then there's the egg, fertilization, creation, dark energy. And then think about the word feminine. You got the number feminine. At the end of it, there's 9. Okay. At the end of feminine, you have the number 9. This is a number 9 year. Okay. Change, you know, grown, like something is building up to be birthed, right? Okay, feminine energy. Think about a woman, she carries a child for 9 months, 9 months, and then she gives birth. Okay. Then if you think about even a cat, feminine, 9 lives. Okay. It's feminine energy, 9 lives. I think you get what I'm saying. But feminine, at the end of feminine, you see 9, feminine, change, female energy, pregnancy, women bring new life into the world. Okay. And even if I'm going to read my notes and you're going to even know further what I'm talking about. But basically I see this seed like floating around in the air and I'm like, wow, that's awesome. I like that. But I was still a little bit down. I'm like, oh, I keep seeing these little things. I can't help it that I want to see more. I keep seeing the angel numbers. I love the angel numbers. I didn't mention that I saw angel number 111 on Sean Diddy Combs' The Reckoning, his house, home address, not, I don't know the street and all that, but on his home, his childhood home was the number 111. That's an angel number. And look at what all he's accomplished. Now he's had a downfall, but wow, you'd have to say he was a chosen one, right? Okay. That documentary's crazy, but I'm not going to get into all that, right? But it's true. Sean, I saw it on the documentary, The Reckoning. If you want to go and watch it, I'm all about those angel numbers, and I'm into numbers anyway. But I did see that the angel number 111, 111, was the number on Sean Diddy Combs' Puff Daddy, Sean Diddy Combs, his childhood home. It was 111, 111. And look how far he came. He's a chosen one. Come on now. He's a chosen one. And Puff Daddy. Okay. Puff Daddy. Like, you get what I'm saying. And I'm sitting here talking about feminine and masculine energy and Puff Daddy. Guys, you get what I'm saying. But if you want, you could watch that documentary and you'd see what I'm talking about. It's called The Reckoning. Okay. And anyhow, but let me keep talking. So I'm out in my car and this was today. I'm out in my car and I'm feeling some type of way because I'm like, what's going to be, if I go live tonight, what am I going to talk about? Because I have so many different things I want to talk about. If I'm going to talk about something, I'm going to have to take notes. I'm seeing some interesting names. I'm seeing Mr. Taco. I love tacos. Okay. I love me some tacos. But anyhow, I think there's another value meal at Taco Bell right now. Now, I talked about the Grinch meal. I didn't talk about the SpongeBob meal. I want to try that one, but there's one at Taco Bell too. And that I thought about that because I see a Mr. Taco. I want to say what's up to everybody. This is Shadow Girl Sherry. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. I can't wait to see how many people join me tonight for the winter solstice. And again, I hope that you will listen, like, click, share, subscribe. Let me know that you're enjoying, you're all in, you're locked in, you're enjoying what I'm saying. I love candles. I'd love if you'd send me some hearts because that's sending me out into the algorithm. This is just an awesome time. Last night we had the new moon in Sagittarius, taking that bow and arrow back as the archer and sending it out. Okay. If you had any setbacks recently, that setback was probably to launch you forward because last night we had a new moon that fell under the sign of Sagittarius. That's about expansion. I do believe that I know Sagittarius is it corresponds with the planet Jupiter, which is all about expansion. Okay. Look it up and, I'll be talking more about it on my channel and when I'm talking about the houses and all that stuff. And I just mentioned Puff Daddy's childhood home, whatever, 111. But guys, again, I was outside in my car thinking all these thoughts, thinking, okay, what am I going to do? Now I see a bill has joined. I'm thinking about dollar bills, y'all. I'm thinking dollar bill, y'all. Okay, because I see a bill. I just want to say what's up to everybody and thank you everybody for joining me tonight. I'm going to keep talking. Again, I was out in my car looking around and I'm thinking, I was frustrated. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, what am I going to do with this energy? How am I need to focus it on something. I need to not think negative. And that's kind of what I was doing. I was all up in my head and being that I'm a Gemini, I'm thinking a million thoughts. And when I started seeing, I told you I saw a seed that just floated up, one of those things that you're supposed to make a wish on. That grounded me a little bit. It grounded me in the moment, and it made me think, made me think about what I'm trying to manifest. It grounded me in the moment and all that, when you have those synchronicities. Okay, so that happened. The next thing I'm just like, okay, I'm always seeing angel numbers. I'm always aware of the numbers, when I see them. I saw the seed floating through the air, made a wish, said it's already mine, and a wish is already mine. Okay. And this is a time of Christmas, presents and all this, and I'm trying to be present in the moment. And I'm saying, I can't help that I want another sign. I want another sign. I want a signal. I want a synchronicity that the universe is hearing me, right? And again, I know that, you see black cats, right? I know some people be like, oh, it was nothing. And, I'm not saying that this cat isn't a part of the community, but this cat did not have to come so close to me right at the point when I'm sitting here in my car and I'm having these thoughts, right? I'm sitting here in my car, I'm thinking the thoughts that I'm thinking, and my mind's all over the place. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking about how when feminine and masculine energy comes together, there's a spark. Okay. Obviously there's a spark because you got feminine and masculine energy. They're colliding, should I say colliding, or they're joining together? They're like harmony, but they're different. So you got a little bit of friction there. Got a little bit of friction. You know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about friction. Okay. I'm talking about a little bit of, there could probably be a lot of sex magic going on tonight. I just got to say it. Or I want to think that, everybody here always, they have a thing where they say, okay, is this a video for children? Obviously, I'm not going to say this video is for children. I'm not talking about crazy, dirty stuff, but, you get what I'm saying. But, I'm sure this is the longest night of the year. I've mentioned, the sunset song for tonight is a song by Teddy Pendergrass called Turn Off the Lights. Okay. He's giving you instructions. Men, guys, if I'm not being ignorant, but if you're thinking you want to get lucky, make it romantic and everything, but Teddy, play his song. And I'm telling you, I think something's going to go down. Play this song for your lady and do what he tells you to do, light the candle, and something's probably going to be going down. Okay. Go and listen to the song, Turn Off the Lights, by, Teddy Pendergrass. Okay. There is a 12-inch version of this song. Okay. And, I've already said that, I believe that version, I'm not going to go back over it because that's other notes, but I think it's 5 minutes and 55 seconds long. That is an angel number. That's all about change, right? 555 is about change. Okay. And when present comes to you, that's a change. Change has happened, right? Something then changed in your life. Okay. Just want to say these are the messages that I'm just want to deliver to you. But, basically, I'm in my car and I'm thinking all these thoughts, and I'm like, I need to ground myself because this is the energy, feminine, masculine have come together, right? This is harmony. This is balance. I need to think about things that I'm manifesting, what's already mine. I need to ground it and bring it into my reality and say it's already mine. Earth it, birth it. You get what I'm saying? And, all of a sudden I'm just like, send me a sign, give me another synchronicity. I love the angel numbers. I love the seed that just floated through the air. Obviously male energy comes as, there's a seed there to be planted. You get what I'm saying? This is awesome. But I couldn't help it that I was still all over the place and I needed something else. So I'm sitting here thinking about the feminine, the masculine coming together, this friction. And then a harmony coming together and, the energy that comes with that. That's creation, right? Okay. And I'm like, I got to use this in a positive way. When am I creating? I want to create something good. I don't want to think negative thoughts on this day. I thought about it. And when I started thinking about it, this is a night, obviously, to about it's a passionate night, you could say. You know, there's going to be fires that are going to be lit, bonfires, candles, things like that. I started thinking about the feminine and the masculine coming together. And I'm thinking about a perfect match. Now think about that. Twin flames. Think about a twin flame. Think about the Lover's Tarot card. The Lover's Tarot card corresponds with Gemini. I'm a Gemini. Gemini is, you know, it's two, it's decisions. Gemini is a twin energy. It's the twins, okay? And we had a full moon. The last full moon that we had was under the sign of Gemini, the twins. Now we are in the winter solstice, and you're thinking about the Lover's Tarot card. Yeah, I just want to have you think about the Lover's Tarot card. I'm thinking about tonight, and I'm thinking about lovers, right? Or just thinking about a feminine and masculine energy because it's the solstice. And I'm going to explain that, what all that means here in just a second, because I'm going to have to hurry up and read it. And I might have to come back and say more, you know, say more about this tomorrow, because you know, I'm talking a long time. But basically, I started thinking about that, and I started thinking about the feminine and the masculine coming together, a twin flame energy, twin flames meeting up, or just the energy. It wouldn't have to be a man and a male and a feminine, a masculine and a feminine energy. Anytime it comes together, there's magic, there's creation. It could be birth. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? It's an energy, it's a friction, and then you have a harmony. And think about twin flame, and think about flames, think about fire, and think about a match, a match made in heaven, a match. And then when you think about matching up, you might think about a match. You might think about, if you had a birthday candle, it kind of, if you look at it, you use your imagination, it kind of looks like a match that you take. You know, you could get like a book of matches, or you could get like those like matches that you get in like the box, and it has like the red tip on it, and you take it and you use it, a match. But think about that. Think about twin flames. And I'm thinking about all these things are popping up in my mind, and I'm thinking about this. I'm a Gemini, thoughts all over the place. And I think about twin flames. Then it went from twin flames, and the masculine and feminine come together in the twin flame. Then it goes from there. I think about the Lover's Tarot card. I think about a twin flame, and I think about a match. And then I think about an actual match that would light a fire. And I'm thinking about fireworks and just a fire burning, a flame, okay? And right when I'm thinking about a match and flames and, okay, the magical, you know, aspect of all this and everything, a synchronicity happened right when I was thinking of a match, right? I'm in my car, and I looked over like from one spot to another, and I saw my little black cat friend just walk up through my yard. And I'm like, okay, now this is alignment. Now I've got alignment here. Anybody else would look at it. And now I'm not saying anybody here in this community that's joined this live, you can see the magic in it, but other people would be, oh, that was nothing. It was not. Come on now. It didn't have to happen at that time. It didn't have to happen. When you think about synchronicities and things like that, or you see an angel number, it's often said, stop in that moment and think about, what were you thinking about? Because there's something that's trying a message is trying to be delivered to you, whatever you're thinking about in that moment. And I was thinking about manifestation. I'm thinking about energies coming together. And then here, I'm asking for synchronicity. I'm giving me a signal, a sign, a synchronicity, something. And the next thing I know, here's this black cat just comes walking up through my yard. And it looks at me, and I look at it. And it stayed, you know, around for a while. And I was mad, because the thing about it was, my phone was inside my house charging. I had my phone was charging up. And it was one of those times where I just wanted to go outside. I wanted to be off. I wanted to just be, what's the word I'm looking for? I wanted to be like off the map, off the grid for a little bit. So I'm like, I'm gonna leave my phone inside. I just want to feel like I'm alone. Because, you know, your phone, it's like it's always listening to you. You get what I'm saying? You can say something, and then the next thing you know, your phone, the next thing you've talked about something, the next thing you know, your phone has sent something to you, whatever you were talking about. You get what I'm saying? Your phone, it's with you, and it picks up, right? It picks up. It's a phone and it picks up. Okay. And yeah, you get what I'm saying. And I just wanted to be alone for a little bit. But at that moment, I was upset because I'm like, I didn't get a picture of my little cat friend. But it's not like the cat doesn't show up anyway. But it was just a magical moment because I was asking for a synchronicity, a sign, a signal of synchronicity. And this one was the third signal or sign synchronicity that I got. I'd already been seeing the angel numbers. I saw a seed float up through in the sky. I told you what the seed was. You know, get what I'm saying. And then I asked for, I was still a little bit upset. And I'm like, come on now, ground it for me. Ground it for me. And I look up, I look down, I look down, and here's my little black cat walking through my yard. And I'm like, okay, now that's more like it. I like that. That's more like it. Only thing I was mad about is because I didn't have my camera on me, right? I had my phone inside my house, so I couldn't make a video. I couldn't make proof of it, but I saw my little black cat in broad daylight. And I'm like, I know that my manifestation power, I'm right on. I've been listening to these black cat meditations, and this is awesome. And that was a magical moment, and I was so happy. So other people would look at it and say, oh, it's nothing, but that's not how I think, right? And you get what I'm saying. So I felt great after that. And, you know, because again, black cat energy is, you know, it said that you are in your power. You are manifesting. You are powerful. Look it up, guys. I'm going to make a video about it. I think it's called, you could have a black cat energy, or you could have the golden retriever. The golden retriever, you know, we love golden retrievers. They're awesome. They're cute, but they're two different types of energy. And I'll make it, I shouldn't have said that because I want to come back and deliver the idea if you've never heard of it. You haven't heard that idea before, but that's another video, because now I'm going to have to hurry up and jump into everything that I've been saying. Okay. I got to tell you a little bit about winter solstice, and then I'm going to close this down because I've been talking forever, right? I should take a drink of my water that's sitting right here, but I think I'll be all right. Okay. So I'm going to read you some notes about the winter solstice. Okay. All right. The winter solstice is the shortest day and longest night of the year, occurring when one of Earth's poles is at its maximum tilt away from the sun, marking the astrological start of winter in that hemisphere. It typically falls in December. Okay, it typically falls on December 21st or 22nd in the northern hemisphere, and June 20th or 21st in the southern hemisphere, signaling the turning point when days begin to lengthen. And guys, I'm thinking about lengthening. And I'm thinking about male and feminine energies. And guys, you know which energy I'm talking about and what I'm thinking about right now. Now, come on now. It's the longest night of the year. And, you know, you're thinking thoughts too. Now, come on now. And we're all adults here. And, you know, it's all in good fun, guys. Like, yeah, this is the longest night of the year. And guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Happy winter solstice, right? And I just want to make you guys just laugh, join in, and let me know you're listening to me when I say this kind of crazy stuff, you know, wake you up a little bit. If you're liking what I'm saying, I hope that you will choose to like, click, share, subscribe. Get me my message out further into the algorithm. Again, I hope that you will leave me some hearts. Let me know that I got you awake. I'm saying something that you like. I hope that you will choose to follow me here on TikTok. Go ahead and give me a follow over on my channel on YouTube. It's called Sunset Songs. When you start one of the videos, obviously there's lots of channels, Sunset Songs, a couple of them on YouTube, but you're looking for mine, which is Sunset Songs. You start the video, one of the videos, whatever. And this is Sunset Songs, all about my personal journey with the law of attraction, Shadow Girl Sherry. So you're looking for on YouTube, Sunset Songs. Make sure you're listening to, you're looking at the right one. You can also find me under Sherry Shadow Closet, or Sherry Shadow Closet, or Shadow Girl Sherry. Okay. I think I've named everything. But basically, guys, I want to let you know that I like candles. I like candles and I like fire. When you leave any of those things, you're letting me know that I'm lighting a fire within you. You could have had like a bad day, like somebody made you feel some type of way. Somebody may have, made you feel like down in the dumps or whatever. I'd like to think that I could be the one that you could listen to one of my videos or join, one of my lives or whatever, and I could put the fire back in you, put the fire back in there in you, and get that fire lit, because we're trying to live our best lives, and we're not trying to think negative. Okay, you get what I'm saying. But anyhow, let me keep on with my notes. Okay, so again, in the Northern Hemisphere, in June 20th and 21st in the Southern Hemisphere, signaling the turning point when days begin to lengthen again, in bringing cultural celebrations of renewal and rebirth. Winter solstice is about the gradual return of longer days. Okay, that's what this is all about. And basically, here in, I'm in the Northern Hemisphere. In the Northern Hemisphere, we are having the winter solstice. But in the Southern Hemisphere, they're experiencing the flip. They're experiencing the summer solstice. So where we are having here in the Northern Hemisphere, this is the longest night of the year. They are experiencing the longest day in the year. You get what I'm saying? Okay. So this is a powerful time, right? Okay. So that's, my first page of notes. Okay. Key themes here. Okay. The rebirth of the sun. And guys, I just want you to think about it. Okay. Rebirth, a key theme here is rebirth of the sun. Okay. The central theme is welcoming the sun's return after its lowest arc, symbolizing hope in new beginnings. Okay. It's the end of darkness. Okay. The end of darkness. Okay. Tonight, we are acknowledging the end of the longest. This is the end. This is acknowledging the end of darkness. This is basically, we are acknowledging the end of the longest night of the year and the slow return of daylight. Okay. It is a time for renewal and rest, a time for reflection. And guys, I did talk a lot about Gemini energy. The last full moon that we had was Gemini. It was in Gemini. And Gemini has a lot to do with reflection. Like, think about the twins. Think about if you were to look in, the Gemini symbol for Gemini is, the mascot is the twins. Okay. And if you were to look in a mirror, that's a reflection. And you are seeing a reflection. The reflection, it looks just like you. So that's like your twin. Okay. Think about that when you think about Gemini energy. Okay. And I had a whole other way that I wanted to present that, but that'll have to be for another new moon in Gemini, or a full moon in Gemini, or I don't know, something that has to do with Gemini. I could just get on and talk about Geminis because hell, I'm a Gemini. Okay. But anyhow, just think about that when you think about reflection, because the last full moon that we have, last full moon, the last laugh, I get it every year because I'm a Gemini. The last laugh, the last full moon is a Gemini full moon. I love that. But anyhow, okay. So it's a time for reflection, rest, and basically preparing for for a new cycle of life and growth. Okay. Common traditions and rituals. Lighting of candles in fire, lighting bonfires. And I mentioned that I have my community altar in front of me right now. It's for all of us, and it's lit. Okay, lighting bonfires, candles, and Yule logs to bring light into the darkness. Okay, and let's see. All right, so that's one. Get rid of that because I don't want to go over it again. Okay. Okay, nature. Okay, bringing evergreens. Okay, a good idea, a good thing to do right now would be to bringing evergreens indoors and honoring the cycles of nature. And right now I'm thinking about, I love to do, hopefully I'm going to have a chance to make a video. I want to make a video about pine, about the whole idea of the spiritual meaning of pine, like a pine tree, pine cones. And, obviously because, Christmas trees, here in a couple of days, it's going to be Christmas. Like if you celebrate it, right? But Christmas trees, pine trees. So bringing evergreens indoors and honoring the cycles of nature. Okay. Feasting and gift giving, obviously, gift giving. Sharing meals and exchanging gifts. Again, I said that. Sharing stories, reflecting on the past year, and planning for the year ahead. And again, I did mention the Gemini energy. And when I think about Gemini energy, I think about two heads because it's the twins. And it has a lot to do, the head. Okay. You might want to think about the feminine, the masculine, and the left, the right, and the synchronization of the left and right side of the brain. And basically, I think that has a lot to do with manifestation, right? And but just think about the Gemini energy. And I did say ahead because Gemini has a lot to do. Geminis think a lot thoughts, thinking. Being flighty, just thoughts all over the place. That's definitely me. A little bit of ADHD, always thinking thoughts. And, and again, I'm thinking of your head, your thoughts, your mind. And, just your mind, and just think about your mind in your head. And, just think about reflecting, okay, on the past year and planning for the year ahead. Okay. And again, I've said it, me being a Gemini, one thing, you have to pick one or the other. It's hard to make decisions. I have the hardest time making a decision and just going with one thing because I'm always bouncing between two decisions. And I have a hard time with letting go, like letting the past stay in the past and moving forward. And this can be a major block in manifestation. I've got to admit it. And it's about change. Life is about change. And I have a hard time with change. I've got to admit that. And Gemini energy, it's about change, right? It's about change. Gemini, the fifth month, that's the number 5. 5 is about change. Okay. And change it doesn't come easy, right? But it's very necessary. Okay. But anyhow, I think you get what I'm saying. But, so planning for the year ahead. Okay. Winter solstice is the day of the sun's birth. Okay. Winter solstice is the day of the sun's birth. The winter solstice marks a powerful point where darkness reaches its peak. And with that being said, guys, I want you to think about last night. Again, last night, I just said reaching its peak. Last night, we had a new moon that fell under the sign of Sagittarius. And reaching it, think about a peak. And think about a bow and an arrow because that is the energy of Sagittarius. It's the archer. okay, you have a point reaching its peak. Okay, when you draw that arrow back, you may have had a setback, but that setback is propelling you forward. And think about the top of that mountain, or think about the top of the mountain. Think about, aiming towards the stars. Aiming towards the stars, okay? Landing among the stars, okay? And reaching a peak, okay? These are my thoughts. Okay, marks a powerful point where the darkness reaches its peak. Now, last night I just said the darkness reaches its peak. I said pink. Oh my gosh. I meant peak. It's peak. All these words just, yeah, it's peak. Okay. And think about last night. Again, I said Sagittarius energy, and the fact that last night was a new moon. We also, not only is tonight the winter solstice, this powerful male and female energy harmony, togetherness. Last night, I said the darkness is reaching its peak. Last night we had a new moon that fell under the sign of Sagittarius. A new moon is all about darkness. A new moon, even though you say the moon and you're thinking about the light of the moon, a new moon is about the darkness, because if you were to go outside during a new moon, it's dark. You don't see anything. You might see some stars, but you don't see the moon because it's dark. And then from that point on, with each night, you're going to see just a little bit of a sliver of the moon, coming out. But at first, it's dark. On the night of the new moon, it's dark. And then from that point on, you're going to start building up until finally you're going to reach from the new moon, and then you'll have a full moon. And then by the time you have the full moon, that's the idea of, you think about a pregnant woman, because it's reached its term. It's come to term. And that would be the time where it said that your manifestations should be showing up. And that's kind of like a birth, like a baby, a female, the belly, it's out there. We're going to be getting ready to release. You're going to release the old, something new. You're going to release that old so the new can come in, the birth of something new. And I also want to mention to you, you're thinking about the returning of the sun, right? The light is going to be, from this point on, the light is going to be returning. And that just makes me think of, you might want to think about the energy of the sunlight and all that, but then there's going to be, you believe what you believe, but I believe in God. Okay. And, even though I believe in God, and I do believe in God, and I believe in the magic of, of creation, and that, I believe in the magic of creation, and I believe in, the land, and just, it didn't just all just get here. I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to go too far into it, because, I think you get what I'm saying. But basically, in a couple of days, you're thinking about the returning of the sun. Well, there are those that celebrate Christmas. I celebrate Christmas, right? And it's the birth of Christ. You get what I'm saying? Okay. And the birth of Christ, and I've said the son's birth. Okay. But then there's going to be those that think the Father, the Son, the Blessed Holy Spirit, the Son. The more I study all this stuff, I can't help that I see where it all kind of blends together. And people, you might, if you were really, really into religion, you might look at it and think, I can just see a connection with all of it. I'll leave it at that. I can see a connection with all of it, because, we're talking about the sun and the light coming back, but then if you think about Christmas Day, well, that's the Father, the Son. You get what I'm saying? The Son. And guys, I cannot believe it. It is 12:12 right now. And you know what we do when you know what we do when we see these numbers back to back, 1212. I want you to close your eyes, think about something that either close your eyes or maybe you have a candle lit, focus on the candle, and just think about something that you are manifesting and look at it as it is already yours. It is the gift that, the universe is the gift that keeps on giving. You got to work with it, but it is the gift that keeps on giving. And Christmas is coming, right? So just think about what's already yours. What is under that tree? What is present is presence. And in order, not only do I think it about presence, like being under a tree or something being gifted to you, but I also think about being present in this moment. And in this moment this is from where you are attracting. From this moment you are attracting the law of attraction, thinking positive in this moment. And when you are thinking positive in this moment, you are attracting the better to you. Let's leave it at that. So I'm going to quickly read my notes because I'm about to close this down. I've been on here for a long time. Like when I first got started, I think my phone was like at like 70 some percent. And then it did go down to 69. I've talked about the number 69 a lot, where a lot of times when I start on a live, for some reason, I will often see that my phone is at 69%. I was at 70 some percent when I started tonight. It quickly went down to 69. And whenever I see that 69, I like to put a 3 in front of it. And when you have a 69 and you put a 3 in front of it, you know what you have. You have that, the keys to the universe, the Tesla code 369. And that is a method. If you're watching this, you probably already know what that method is. If not, I'm just going to tell you to just kind of go and look it up because I got to keep moving forward with this. And yeah, because I want you guys to, I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight, but I also want you maybe to be able to have a chance to go and listen to that song by Teddy Pendergrass. He was a teddy bear, right? And, teddy bears and, hibernation, go and reflect and dream and, think about teddy bears and think about bears going into hibernation right now. Really, what are they dreaming of? Like if a bear could dream, if you could dream, what do you want to dream of tonight? Because that's another powerful thing. I will tell you one thing. I manifested something. I was trying to manifest something. And I tell you, when it makes an appearance in your dream, that's said to be very, very powerful. Whenever you're trying to manifest something and it makes an appearance in your dream, it's so said that it's about to manifest. It's about to appear in your life. And I wish I could share a story to that right now that I could let you know how that happened for me one time. And it really did. Like right after it appeared in my dream, the next thing I know, it showed up. Okay, so I just want to tell you that, and I'm going to quickly read these notes, and then I'm going to let you go and light some candles or dream or go and listen to that. Go and have some male and female energy, if you know what I mean. If you have that, if that's available for you tonight on this longest night of the year. Or maybe if you want to go and listen to that song by Teddy Pendergrass, the sunset song tonight that I thought up. It might sound crazy because, you're looking at a cat right now and whatever. But I can't help that the song that popped up in my mind was a song by Teddy Pendergrass called Turn Off the Lights. And he's basically telling you to turn off the lights and light a candle. And it definitely is one of my favorite. Like, I think they called it on Wikipedia. It was called one of his, bedroom ballads. I think I got my notes over here, but it's definitely like a slow jam. Back in the day, you would have called it a slow jam or I don't know, whatever you want to call it, but it's a beautiful love song, and I'm sure, if you listen to the song tonight and you got somebody with you and you're in that fertile period, you get what I'm saying? I don't know. You guys might be thinking Shadow Girl Sherry. I might have somebody might say, hey, Shadow Girl Sherry, you're responsible. in a couple of months. Never know. But anyhow, you guys get what I'm saying. So, but I just want to thank you guys for joining me either way tonight. I've had so much fun, and I want to quickly finish reading my notes and let you guys go and do what you do. Because right now my phone's at 11%. So it is at 11% right now. So that's a bit of a doorway. That's a door. So, and it is a master number. The number 11 is a master number. Okay. But anyhow, let me hurry up and read this. Okay, so last night, Saturday, December the 20th, we had the new moon in Sagittarius, think peak, and the sky, and, you know, it was dark and darkness. It reached its peak, and light will slowly begin to return. It's kind of like a pregnancy. Think of Christmas, and, you know, think of the idea of, you know, December the 25th, you know, birth. I'll leave it at that. I'll leave it at that. And I've read those notes. It's all about what you celebrate. So you know, you celebrate what you celebrate. Okay. And now, guys, I believe, let's see, let me get to the next page. Okay. This is a good time. Right now is a good time. This is a good time for journaling. It's a good time for journaling. It's a good time for, you know, you might want to listen to guided meditations. This is a good time to meditate, in whatever way you meditate. Like you might, you know, whatever way you meditate, you could meditate, or you might listen to guided meditations like on YouTube. You know, you might listen to subliminals. It's all about what you want to do, what you consider meditation. You could be working with crystals when you're meditating, however way you want to do it. Okay. Again, it's a good time for meditation, for journaling. It's a good time for releasing, to let go of old habits, let go of negative thoughts that are holding you back. Whatever could be holding you back, just letting it go. Acknowledge the lessons that you have learned. What have you learned in this year? The year's about to come to a close pretty soon. What have you learned? You know, reflect back. Think about the things you've gone through. What you want to release, what you want to leave behind. And just keep in mind, whenever you release something, you're allowing. When you release, you allow. As you release something, you are allowing something else. You got rid of something, you're allowing something else to take its place. That empty space is where your new manifestation is gonna come in. That's where the gift is gonna come. Think about a tree. The tree, at one point you put the tree up, there was no gifts under it. Okay, well then that empty space, the gift is gonna be put there, right? And then you're gonna unwrap it. You get what I'm saying? So let go of the old habits. Acknowledge the lessons you learned. As you release, you allow. When there is a death, at the same time, with every death, there is a new beginning. There's a birth. You get what I'm saying? Winter solstice symbolizes the balance and interplay of feminine, which the feminine is the yin, the interplay of the feminine, which is yin, the yin and the yang. The feminine is the yin energy, and the masculine is the yang. Yin and yang energies. You've heard of it before, representing the deep inward. The yin is the feminine, and it represents the deep inward receptive feminine energy during this longest night of the year. Okay, making way for the returning of the active masculine light in rebirth of the sun, and that is the yang energy. So we've got an idea of balance here, right? We've got an idea of balance and coming together and basically, I'm going to say lighting a fire, right? And this has basically been a gathering, guys. And I want to thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. I have a couple of more notes, and then I'm going to let you guys do what you do. Maybe listen to that song, light some candles, do whatever you do. You wouldn't have to, don't have to be with someone. You might be alone, because guys, hey, you've actually celebrated with me tonight. And again, I want to thank you so much. Okay. This is a time for deep introspection. Okay. This is a time of rest in honoring the feminine energies, intuition, the great mother, or the dark goddess. Okay. This is, now my notes were starting to get a little bit messy here. So I apologize, because I was taking notes, and they started to get a little bit messy. So I'm trying to read it. So this is, while we are, this is a time for introspection and rest and honoring the feminine energy, the intuition and all that, the great mother, honoring the great mother or the dark goddess. We are also anticipating the masculines the energy of the masculines renewal, the action that comes with the masculine, and the growth as light makes its return, creating a cycle of balance and inner awakening, honoring the darkness, acknowledging your shadow self. Okay. And hey, I go by Shadow Girl Sherry. I've told you a little bit about shadow work. And if you're watching this, it may mean, just because you are watching, you're tuning in to a live, and I call myself Shadow Girl Sherry, it may mean that this is just a powerful time to do it anyway, to do shadow work. So acknowledging your shadow self and finding wisdom in the quiet and the quiet internal spaces. Okay. This is a time for setting intentions, using this energy, this turning point, to set goals for the incoming year, the upcoming year, what's ahead. Okay. Okay. I think I've read all that. I think, guys, I'm down to the last little bit here. Basically, guys, I think I've said everything. The winter solstice, it's all about celebrating the sun's return. And think about it. Tonight, it's the longest night of the year. Last night, we had a new moon, which is all about the darkness. And from that new moon, you go outside, you think about the new moon. Think about the moon, you think about light. But then the thing about the new moon is it's complete darkness. It's dark. And then from that point on, it's gradually going to be building up to that full moon, which is the light. Okay. And you're thinking about, when you think about that, that's like a pregnant woman. Like you think about a pregnant woman, the feminine energy, the number 9, feminine. And then at the end of that, there's the number 9, Fema 9 months. You're even looking at a black cat right now. Fema 9 lives, life. You get what I'm saying? 9 lives. Yeah. Okay. So basically celebrating the sun's return, welcoming the light through rituals, candles, all this, when you light these candles, when you're doing these rituals, if you had a bonfire, all those different things. And I do have a friend that we're supposed to be getting together and having a bonfire, and I'm going to be releasing all kinds of like old papers. It could be like diary entries, things that, I'm trying to release and turn into look like, magic in its own way. Or it could be just old documents and stuff that I don't need anymore, and I need to release it. And, yeah, so it's releasing. And as you release, you allow. You get what I'm saying. But celebrating the sun's return, welcoming the light through rituals, candles, all this symbolizes enlightenment. And again, I just want you to think about that idea of rebirth. And obviously, in a couple of days, if you celebrate, if you're religious, or it's all about what you believe. Christmas is going to be on the 25th. And again, I'm thinking about that right now. When you think about, I just thought about the numbers of the 25th. You take 2 and 5, you add them together, you had 7. You have 7. And it's so said that, when you take 25, you add 2 and 5 together, you have 7. And it's so said that, God created, 7 days, right? So I'm just thinking about the number 7. These are just the thoughts that are coming to the top of my head. And again, it's all about what you celebrate. I do believe in God. I will be celebrating Christmas. I'm thinking about the number, again, 5. 5 is a number of change. And the 25th of December is Christmas Day, the birth of Christ. So it's all about what you're into. I'm not telling you what, we can all meet in the middle and discuss, because I'm telling you, when I go to church, the more that I listen, I just kind of compare, and I listen to, I think about spirituality, and then I think about religion, and I can't help that, when I put the two together, and I see these kind of things that kind of melt together. They just, I don't know how to put it. I think you know what I'm saying. Like, I couldn't go in. I'll just leave it at that, guys. Guys, this is Shadow Girl Sherry. I want to thank you so much for joining me tonight for this, what I called what did I call it? What I called it? A winter. No, I don't even know what I called it. It was basically a warm gathering, indoor gathering. I had, actually, I was talking about evergreens. I do have, some pine cones and stuff inside my house now. I have that energy in my house. And, tonight I had some candles. I had my community altar lit. Guys, I hope that you enjoyed this sacred space and this sacred time that we had together, because I sure did. I want to thank you so much for joining me. And now guys, my phone is at 5% right now. So, I'm going to be shutting down as soon as I can. I always have a hard time shutting down. So basically you might hear me saying a couple of things, whatever. But basically I'm going to be signing out. I'll be saying a couple of things, but I'm going to be signing out. I just got to figure out how to do this. I can't wait to see how many people join me for this solstice, right? Guys, thank you so much. This is Shadow Girl Sherry, basically signing out. Again, you might hear me a little bit. I hope that you will join me. I hope you will choose to like, click, share, subscribe. Follow me here on TikTok. You can come back and watch this, clips of this here on TikTok, but because it's went over an hour, way over an hour, TikTok is not going to let me, upload this whole video in its entirety. If you want to see this video again in its entirety, you're going to have to go ahead and join me over on YouTube, which I'm definitely making that suggestion, and I hope that you will. The power of suggestion. I'm making the suggestion for you to go ahead and join me over on YouTube, Sunset Songs, Shadow Girl Sherry, Sherry Shadow Closet. And also, guys, take a listen to that song by Teddy Pendergrass, Turn Off the Lights, right? Turn off the lights. And light a candle. And guys, thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm going to be closing down now. Thank you so much for joining me. You might hear me saying a couple little things or just mumbling and trying to figure out how to do it. But basically, this is going to be me signing out. Guys, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much. I hope you'll choose to like, click, share, subscribe. And remember, whenever you do that, you're encouraging me. You're letting me know that I am lighting a fire in you, and we're lighting this path together. And you are spreading my message deeper into the algorithm, and it is very much appreciated, because I am trying to grow on both platforms. So it's basically good night for me, myself, and I, and my cat Sasha, and the cat here that you're looking at in the picture. Guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight, and happy winter solstice. I gotta figure out how to shut down. Maybe if I touch this. I should know this stuff by now, guys. I really should. Oh boy. No, 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 no. How do I do this? How do I shut down? I gotta figure out how to do this, guys. Okay, what's it saying here? Let me see. I'm gonna get it here. Thank you guys so much for joining me. Loaf of Brad. That's the last. Loaf of Brad is the last person that I'm seeing tonight. And I see a Crystal K. That's making me think of K is making me think of K Jewelers. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. This is Shadow Girl Sherry signing out. Thank you so much for joining me. Happy winter solstice. And this is Shadow Girl Sherry signing out whenever I can figure out how to do it. Okay. Oh, guys, I would say it says I still have some viewers, but I don't live alone, so I've got to shut down for tonight. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. This means so much. This is Shadow Girl Sherry signing out. I love you guys, and a happy winter solstice, and take care.